Last but not least, we had a little experiment on Whistling Thorn Acacia. Called Whistling Thorn Acacia because their diastema's whistling noises when the wind blows through them. Whistling Thorn Acacia has a mutualistic relationship with certain species of ants. There are the red cocktail ants. They're called cocktail ants because they concoct their tail and spray formic acid. They actually defend the tree against herbivores, so they protect the tree, whereas the tree produces food and shelter. They live in little structures called domatia, which are these hollow structures. Domatia are the thorns. Some of them get swollen, and the ants make a little housing out of them. They've also got something called the extrafloral nectarines, just supply more food than average. They're not associated with flowers. There's the cocktail ants, as I said before. There's also the black skinny ant. They don't protect tree, so it's more of a parasitic relationship. And the cocktail ants can also have somewhat of a parasitic relationship because they can decrease the pollinators, which is a negative effect for the tree. Ants can also farm scale insects, which cause the plant to be eaten. The experiment that we did is we had 5 trees for each group. We had to pick a branch. Half would cut leaves, whereas the other half would tap the branch instead. Now, cutting the leaves gave a bigger reaction, bigger response to defend the tree than the tapping. This is probably because the tapping probably resembles wind more than it being attacked. Now, before you started counting, you counted the number of ants that was on the branch in a 30 centimeter radius, and then you start counting at 30-second intervals until 5 minutes, so 300 seconds, and every 30 seconds you set your count, and this is to sort of identify what time there's the highest response when it sort of dies down. Now, for both of the tapping and the cutting, the biggest response was in the first minute and 30 seconds. And after that, it sort of died down. There was a high response in the cutting, as I said before. We also counted the number of domatia, extrafloral nectarines, on 3 branches. That wasn't the one that the experiment was conducted on. And then with this information, we're seeing whether there's a correlation between the response to the number of structures. There wasn't. There's no correlation, at least not that we could see.
Speaking about acacia trees, the yellow fever tree, also known as the yellow acacia tree, settlers used to sleep under them and then get malaria because of the mosquitoes' breeding ground is by the river, and that's where you find the yellow acacia tree. And the settlers would blame the trees for being sick and not the mosquitoes.